Hello, and welcome back to Pointlessly Relevant, a truly devastating death in Marvel Comics. More development with Markelle Fultz and the Philadelphia 76ers. All this and more. I'm Jeremy Guerin, and I'm your host at Pointlessly Relevant Daily. Cue awesome music! Last week was a big week for Marvel Comics. There was a couple of really standout issues. You gotta start with Thor. For those of you who don't know, who haven't been reading comic books over the last few years, the story of Thor and Mjolnir has been a very epic one. Thor Odinson, Thor himself, has not had the hammer. Way back, several years ago, in the original Sin storyline, Nick Fury whispered something into Thor's ear that immediately made him unworthy to hold Mjolnir. And so Mjolnir was stuck there on the moon. We find out a little bit later what that statement was. It was Nick Fury letting him know that gods would not be worthy. That is a whole great journey in of itself, but what happened next was something really epic. Most of you know who Jane Foster is. Jane Foster, in the movies, in the first two Thor movies, is Thor's girlfriend. In the comic book, she's not a scientist, she was a nurse, a brilliant nurse, always willing to help people. And what happens here is that in her storyline, she is dying of cancer. And so, it is decided that she is worthy to wield Mjolnir. So she gets Mjolnir, and Jane Foster is given the power of Thor. And for the next several years, she has been Thor, alright? Thor, the character Thor, is still out there doing his own adventures. Meanwhile, Jane Foster is the one with Mjolnir and has the power of Thor. We've had a lot of epic storylines, but with this understanding that this is going to have a tragic end. And so here we have Asgard is being hurled towards the sun, okay? Not our sun per se, but they're out in outer space, and the powerful creature known as Mangog is trying to tear apart Asgard and destroy its people. Mangog is a dramatically powerful character. It would take several Thors to defeat him, alright? Jane Foster helps all the others, all the Asgardians, get away onto their ships and engages Mangog in this epic battle, and it is great. She is vastly outmatched, but is using her wit over her brute strength in order to match the brute strength of Mangog. Eventually, Thor Odinson comes back and helps her, and together they fight. And so, the way they win in the end, and it's this big dramatic moment, they're both beat to a pulp. They're able to wrap Mangog into these ropes that they use to hold Fenrir. The same concept from the movie Thor Ragnarok. And she uses Mjolnir to hurtle Mangog into the sun. The problem is, she has to have Mjolnir in order to stay in her Thor form. Without the Thor form, she reverts to Jane Foster and will die of cancer pretty much immediately. And true to form, all the Asgardians are watching from afar, and they see the explosion of the land of Asgard, and they realize, oh no, and then Thor Odinson walks up, and he's carrying the body of Jane Foster. It's a really emotional but fantastic finale to Jane Foster's character arc. A great job from Marvel Comics. This is not the end. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Will Thor Odinson ever be able to hold Mjolnir again? There's been so much epicness in why he can't that I don't think that they will, but you never know. Also in comic book news, No Surrender has really heated up. I have loved this miniseries from Marvel so far. Okay, so No Surrender, you see the Grandmaster against his arch rival. They're having this colossal game of who can get these emblems first. The arch nemesis, he gets the Black Order. You guys will know who the Black Order is really well once Infinity War comes out. His team is the Black Order. Meanwhile, the Grandmaster collects this superhero group from other planets. Alright? And their field of battle will be Earth. So they steal the Earth and they put Earth in this huge machine. And so all the heroes of Earth, mainly the multiple Avengers teams, are uniting to try to figure out what is going on. There's so much happening here. This is a miniseries, an epic miniseries that you guys need to check out. But the big thing that has happened in the last few issues is that the arch nemesis has resurrected the Hulk and has basically promised him something in order for him to work with the arch nemesis and collect all those emblems so he can win the match. All right, the Avengers have figured out the game, and they're trying not to let that happen. And so at the Avengers HQ, they and Voyager, a long story within itself, are holding on to this last emblem, and the Hulk comes in. They think he's still dead, so they're shocked there. And in this one, there is epicness. Epic battle after battle. He faces off against the Red Hulk with the Iron Patriot armor. Great one. Then he faces off against the Vision. Oh, this was awesome. And has an ending to this particular fight that I'm a little confused and concerned about. And then at the end, Wonder Man comes in, and it looks like he will lead another platoon of Avengers to stop the Hulk. We'll see what happens there. But if you're not reading No Surrender, you should be. Also heating up is Marvel Comics' Damnation storyline. Not a huge fan of the title, but it really does fit what they're trying to pull. Okay, so basically in another issue, Las Vegas was destroyed. Everyone in it was killed, and while Las Vegas was gone, this whole religious undercurrent theology, basically because it was Sin City, the entire city of Las Vegas went to hell. And so Captain Marvel, the Black Panther, Falcon, who's really Captain America now, they gathered together at the site of Las Vegas to try to help the families rebuild, and Doctor Strange shows up. Doctor Strange has had a massive power update. He is so much more powerful now than he has ever been, and he resurrects Las Vegas. And at first it's beautiful. All these families are reunited, and it's great, but then a ominous tower appears. Evidently, when he brought Las Vegas back from hell, something from hell came with it. And it was a casino being ran by Mephisto, which is Marvel Comics' version of Lucifer. So what's happening here is that since this is all whacked out and going crazy, anybody who commits any kind of sin in Sin City, their soul goes to Mephisto. That includes jaywalking. So you've got all this going on, and they take the Avengers and possess them, the ones that were there, and they take Doctor Strange as well. So what happens is a really cool team is put together by Wong and led by Wong. He goes out and he gets Blade, the vampire hunter. You probably know Blade from the movies and the TV series. He goes out and gets the monster hunter. This one girl who's British and is just awesome, guns, knives, hunts monsters. She knows what she's doing. She's really cool. Iron Fist, Moon Knight. Oh, Moon Knight is one of my all-time favorite characters, but my second all-time favorite character, the Ghost Rider, is finally added to this team. And so in this week's issue, what happens is that they basically battle the Ghost Rider versions of the Avengers and Doctor Strange. And it is a very epic fight. In the end, Ghost Rider is sent to battle Mephisto, and just like that, Mephisto eliminates the Ghost Rider powers and kicks him out of the tower, assumingly killing him. Right now, they're making this into a bigger crossover. Iron Fist is about to start his little mini-series as you see it coming. Ghost Rider himself is about to get this thing, and we also know that he's got his own series that is coming soon. Really cool stuff, so we'll see where this storyline goes as well. Over at DC, Batman Metal series is finally about to come to a close. Really interesting series. If you don't know about it, I would check it out. But it's going to result into, again, a very interesting direction for DC Comics. They're going to add 2 new Justice League teams. One is the Dark Justice League. And if you know the history of the Justice League, that means like the Supernatural team. It used to be captained by John Constantine. Well, according to this, Wonder Woman will be the new leader of the Dark Justice League team, and we'll have Swamp Thing, Detective Chimp, Man-Bat, and Zatanna. So Swamp Thing, uber powerful character. Detective Chimp, alright, one of those kind of, are you kidding me type of characters, but still interesting. Wields a sword. Man-Bat, that's really cool, and Zatanna. They have an all-powerful witch. That's great. Then another team, and this is going to get really interesting, the Odyssey team, the Justice League Odyssey team, which is basically going to be their space team, a team that goes into space and handles the big galactic type things. It's going to be captained by Starfire. That's cool. She's going to have Cyborg, all right? The Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz. Azrael, all right? That's really interesting. And the most interesting name in this whole list, Darkseid. That is correct. Darkseid is joining the Justice League. We'll see where it goes from there. They're going to launch this about in June, and in July, IDW is releasing their Transformers Unicron miniseries. They say that it's 12 years in the making, and this is a big finale to the Transformers. Unicron is targeting Cybertron and Earth, so I'm looking forward there. Talking about the Transformers, moving into movie news, Hasbro is about to continue their Hasbro universe with ROM Space Knight. Zach Penn, the writer who just wrote Ready Player One, is already began writing the ROM Space Knight. Why is this important? Because in IDW Comics, they have this Hasbro universe that includes the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Rom Space Knight, the Micronauts. There's a couple of other little titles in there. And Rom the Space Knight is a very powerful character and a very interesting character as well. So it's going to be neat to see if they can actually pull off a high-quality universe within this, considering that the Transformers films have not been overly high quality, just high spectacle. That being said, the word is Transformers is about to get a reboot. They're not happy with the direction that it has gone. I'm really happy about this. Hopefully they put IDW people in charge of the Transformers films, because IDW has knocked their Transformers comics and their storylines out of the park over the last decade plus. In NBA news, Markelle Fultz is back. This was such a weird situation. At the beginning of the year, he had hurt his shoulder. However, it seemed like he had recovered. And once the season started, he played a couple of games, and he looked terrible. He was airballing free throws. He was turning the ball over. It was awful. And so they finally put him on the shelf, and somehow, because of this weird shoulder injury he had, he literally forgot how to shoot a basketball. I know, that's really weird. And so for the bulk of the season, he's been trying to reform his jump shot and make sure everything is fixed in the shoulder. It really did not look like he was going to come back, but last night he did. He came off the bench for Ben Simmons. He looked a little rough, all right? He still has a way to go. But he only played about 20 minutes, and he got 10 points and 8 assists. Okay, yeah, he's not going to give you the number one pick worthy production probably this season and in the playoffs, but if he can do that coming off the bench and continue to improve on his jump shot and get those mechanics back, then yeah, he actually can help Philadelphia make a nice little run in the playoffs, and that's kind of scary if you're every other team. The LeBron James video is starting to look more and more likely, but we will see. Golden State is really starting to look beatable. Steph Curry will not play in the first round of the playoffs. Oh, well, that's not a big deal. It's just the first round of the playoffs. Yeah, they're still heavily favored to win, but they're probably going to play against the Utah Jazz, and the Utah Jazz are really good. Even if they sweep them, they're going to get beaten up even more because they're a defensive-minded team. That's going to hurt them starting in the second round. But Steph Curry will be back for the second round. We don't know that, but even if he is, he's not going to be 100%. Kevin Durant is not 100%. Draymond Green is not 100%. Klay Thompson broke his thumb on his shooting hand. Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala, those role players, they have to have in order to really excel. They're older, and they're not producing like they used to. The Western Conference is tough. In that second round, you're looking at a matchup with either probably Portland or the Oklahoma City Thunder. You might not make it past there. Wow. So it's craziness. Moving into this playoffs, we don't know what's going to happen. It should be Golden State versus Cleveland, and the way it looks right now, I would pick Golden State in 6. But there's so many other factors that come into play than just who has the most talent. It's how healthy are you? How ready are you? What is the matchups at key points? It could very easily be the Toronto Raptors and the Houston Rockets. It could be the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Toronto Raptors. I don't know. But Cleveland is starting to play really well. Kevin is back, which means LeBron James has his second-hand man. These other guys like Rodney Hood are coming back, playing well. Clarkson playing well. Larry Nance Jr., is back. Tristan Thompson is about to come back. If they can get it all together, and they've won 5 in a row, especially considering how beatable Golden State is looking right now, LeBron has a great shot at his 4th title this year. Boy, high drama moving into this. I can't wait to see what happens. In movie news, The Black Panther is now the highest grossing superhero film ever. Congratulations, Marvel! Wow, Disney is gonna make a lot of money. That's insane. They've already made over $1 billion with The Black Panther, okay? I just read that The Black Panther makes up a quarter of the entire U.S. box office so far this year, and the Infinity War is about to come out. Plus, they have some Pixar films coming out and some other stuff going on. This is crazy. But congratulations to The Black Panther. Congratulations to Marvel Disney. You continue to surprise us. Also, some exciting movie news. Some more Marvel MCU news. Captain Marvel, it has started filming, and there's stuff going on there that is really interesting. We know that it takes place in the 90s and involves the Skrulls. Could that in any way affect what the second Infinity War film is going to be about? Some people think that the second Infinity film will in fact not be an Infinity film, but will be about the Secret Invasion, and Marvel's trying to pull one over on us. That is definitely possible. Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s, but the movie comes out in between Avengers 3, Infinity War, and whatever that 4th Avengers film is that comes out next May. Everybody thinks, and I think, that film is Infinity Gauntlet, but we don't know for sure. So, interesting stuff going on there. Also interesting, in the film, we will have Clark Gregg coming back as Phil Coulson. Does that mean maybe we'll get at least some acknowledgement of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show? Probably not, but it would be nice if they at least rewarded the true fans who have followed the MCU completely. Also, Ronan the Accuser, the bad guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy film, will be in this movie as well. So will his henchman, Korath. He is going to be in this movie. So Captain Marvel is turning out to be really interesting. One of the things that Kevin Feige has stated is that Captain Marvel will be the most powerful of all the Marvel superheroes. I'm excited to see that, especially whatever Avengers 4 is about. If it's Infinity Gauntlet and she joins the team in the battle against Thanos, oh, that's going to be so good. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Cue awesome music!